filed by Siddaramaiah, who is the son of former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, where he's gone on to state that this particular book, which is going to be released by the BJP, which will be released by Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan, who is the minister, it is now being stated that this material will defame, this material will go on and spoil the image of Siddaramaiah, and the same has been printed, and this will also cause a lot of hatred too. This is what is being stated. So therefore now there has been an interim order which has been passed. So the full order copy which Republic has accessed also states that the plaintiff has approached, that is Dr. Yatindra Siddaramaiah has approached the court stating that he is a son and his father's image is being damaged, not from a political perspective but from a personal perspective. He's going on to say that his father's image will be damaged, and therefore it will also hurt the sentiments of the followers of Siddaramaiah, is also what is being stated here. And in this now, therefore, the court is saying that behalf from issuing or hosting defamatory statement of any sort in connection with any matter against the plaintiff through the print as well as the electronic media, from publishing, packaging or releasing or offering this particular book is something which is being stated now. And now the next date of hearing is also being referred here. But all said and done, will they go ahead with it or not is something that will have to be seen, even as we are speaking out here, Shivangi. But definitely we are also expecting a lot of action shortly from now, and we will also have to wait in as to how the BJP will proceed with it. And they are also trying to go on and speak to their legal counsels as well, trying to understand as to what is this interim order which has been passed by the city civil court. Over to you.
All right, thank you, Prajit, for joining us with all those details. The court order has put a stay on the book release. Viewer, this is the latest coming in on Republic TV after the showdown over the Siddaramaiah book release. The court has put a stay on the release. Time for a very short break, viewers. We are live and breaking on Republic TV, getting you all the top updates. Coming up on the other side, same Congress that defended terrorist Sharik now drawn silence as their own leader's son is arrested in Shimoga bomb blast case. Plus, multiple teams rush Joshimath declared disaster-prone zone. Rescue and relief operations are underway. Top court to hear the matter tomorrow. Stay tuned.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Ravi Gram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these two are the weapons that have been recovered.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I'm reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Viewers, a theft was reported on Monday from the house of Anjali, saying the woman who died a horrific death on New Year's Day after she was dragged for several kilometers under a car that hit her scooty. Family members of Anjali claim that the thieves broke open the lock of their house at Karan Vihar, and among the items that were stolen includes an LCD TV. They also alleged that Anjali's friend Nidhi was behind the theft. So, a big allegation coming in from Anjali's family members. Let's go to Piyush Mishra. Piyush, take our viewers through exactly what the allegations are. We know that a theft has been reported, and what was stolen was a LCD TV. One of the things stolen was a LCD TV.
Well, that's right, and that's the allegation coming in from the family members of Anjali. If we talk about the police's version, remember that police has released a statement on this entire issue. Police has said that the incident took place at around 8:30 a.m. They got the call about this incident at around 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and they are investigating this entire case. In fact, a team of forensic experts and Delhi police reached there on the spot the moment they got the call about theft at Anjali's residence. Now the family members of Anjali are coming out and they are claiming that Nidhi is behind this. Remember that the door of Anjali's house was locked from outside when this theft took place. Mother of Anjali had gone to hospital for her kidney ailment treatment. Now police is saying that the investigation in this case is going on. They have registered an FIR in this entire case. A team of forensic experts and Delhi police had reached at the spot and has collected all the exhibits from that particular location. It is also being reported that LCD TV and few other things have been stolen from the house of Anjali. Family members are claiming that it is Nidhi who is behind this. Now we'll have to wait and watch how the investigation further proceeds in this entire case.
Right, Piyush. All right, Piyush, thank you so much for getting us all the details. So, family of Anjali alleging that LCD TV, among other things, stolen. And they also alleged that Anjali's friend Nidhi was behind that theft. Thank you, Piyush, and keep us ahead on the story. Let's take a very short break, viewers. Much more coming up on the other side of a very short break. Starting off with what's happening. Same Congress that defended terrorist Sharik now dons silence as her own leader's son is arrested in Shivamoga bomb blast case. Plus, Tamil Nadu government versus governor face-off escalates in assembly as governor proposes state's name change and calls Dravadian politics regressive. Stay tuned. I'm Priyanka Sharma from Gujarat, and this is Republic.
11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I'm reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath. There you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
A huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे।
Top national updates. PM Modi inaugurated the 17th edition of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Indore in Madhya Pradesh. The Prime Minister also said that India is not only has the capability of becoming a knowledge center but also a skilled capital. Supreme Court dismissed a petition challenging committees set up in states of Gujarat and Uttarakhand for Uniform Civil Code. A bench headed by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud questioned what is wrong in the committee constituted under Article 162. Viewers, much more coming up on the other side. Punjab cop chasing the carjackers killed by the armed assailants. Not even police personnel are safe in Man's government. Stay tuned.
I'm Zeenat Zishan Fazil reporting from Srinagar, and this is the Republic.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath. There you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
A huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers.
Viewers, it's time for Super Fast 50. I'm Shivangi Shukla. Let's get started. BJP versus Congress face-off escalates in Karnataka as BJP was scheduled to release a book titled Siddaramaiah, True Dreams. However, the court has put stay on the book release. BJP claimed that they will highlight the Congress's soft stance towards PFI in this group, and it was to also highlight Congress's leader Siddaramaiah's stance on Tipu Sultan. Heavy police deployment outside town hall as Congress workers protested against the release of Siddaramaiah's book. Many Congress workers were detained as they demanded that BJP should not be allowed to release the book. Another incident of stone pelting Vande Bharat Express took place in Bengal. The incident was reported in between Chandanpur to Bardhaman station, where window panes were slightly broken. NIA conducted searches at 6 locations across Karnataka and arrested 2 in connection with Shivamogga ISIS conspiracy case. The raids are connected with the explosives seized in Shivamogga. Among those arrested is Congress leader Tajuddin Sheikh's son, Reshan. Congress party that once defended terror Sharik now remain silent as their own leader's son has been arrested in Shivamogga bomb blast case. When asked about NIA searches, Congress leader Shiv Kumar was seen evading the questions.
Congress leader's son was arrested by NIA in Mangalore case, sir.
Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the 17th edition of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Indore in Madhya Pradesh. PM Modi said that India not only has the capability of becoming a knowledge centre but also a skilled capital. After the violence inside the civic meeting in Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party and BJP held counter-protests on the streets. Aam Aadmi Party leaders raised slogans outside the LG's residence against the BJP leaders. The BJP claimed Aam Aadmi Party had crossed all lines by targeting women leaders. The Bombay High Court allowed the release of the Chanda Kochar, the former ICICI Bank managing director, and her husband Deepak Kochar from judicial custody after they were arrested by the CBI in the ICICI Bank Videocon loan fraud case. The court directed that the arrest was not in accordance with the law.
मैं आर्ग्यू किया था कि जब भी 41A नोटिस इशू होता है सीबीआई का या कोई भी एजेंसी का, तो फिर देयर इज अ स्टैट्यूटरी बार कि अरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए अनलेस कोई जेन्युइन रीज़न हो. वो रीज़न 41B2 सेक्शन 41B2 में सेट आउट है. वो होता है कि अगर उन्होंने टैंपरिंग की एविडेंस के साथ इंटरफेयर किया इन्वेस्टिगेशन में, वही सर्कमस्टेंसेज में उनकी अरेस्ट हो सकती है.
Supreme Court dismissed a petition challenging committees set up in states of Gujarat and Uttarakhand for uniform civil code. A bench led by CJI D.Y. Chandrachud questioned what is wrong in committee constituted under Article 162. The gateway to Hemkund Sahib and Badrinath Joshimath has been declared a landslide subsidence zone. Meanwhile, Supreme Court is scheduled to hear the Joshimath case tomorrow as more than 600 other buildings have developed cracks as of now. Chaos erupted in the Tamil Nadu Assembly over Governor R.N. Ravi's comment about renaming Tamil Nadu. Slogans were raised and DMK Alliance staged a walkout boycotting Governor's speech. Alleged stone pelting on the houses of 2 people belonging to the minority community took place in Pooch in Jammu and Kashmir. Locals said that it is an attempt to create religious divide and proper investigations must take place. Amid terror threats, house searches are being conducted in Kishwar district of Jammu. Special checkpoints have been established to keep a tab on people moving in vehicles. Kolkata Police's Special Task Force arrested 2 accused ahead of the Republic Day celebrations for the suspected links with ISIS. According to the police, 2 persons have been arrested in Havra who have been sent to police custody till January 19. Madras High Court Advocates Association, which was one of the largest in Tamil Nadu, has postponed its election after a major chaos erupted in Madras High Court campus following an order by the court. The acting Chief Justice has agreed to look out into the issue later on. Anubhuto Mondal has filed a fresh plea before the Delhi High Court challenging his arrest in the cattle smuggling case. Mondal, in the fresh plea, has contended that he was not supplied the ground of arrest as mandated under Section 19 of the PLA Act. A theft was reported from the house of Anjali Singh, the woman who died a horrific death in the hit-and-run case. Family members of Anjali claimed that the thieves broke open the lock of their house and stole several items. They also alleged that Anjali's friend Nidhi was behind the theft. A couple and their friends were arrested for allegedly murdering a 35-year-old man called Nebashish Paul and dumping his body in an area in Bengaluru. The accused have been identified and CCTV footage has been captured. A Pakistani drone intrusion bid was foiled by the BSF troops in Gurdaspur, Punjab. 74 rounds were fired on the drone by the BSF troops. Joint search operations is being carried out in 22 villages by the Punjab police and the BSF. And yet another mid-air incident. 2 drunk passengers caused havoc on a Patna-bound Indigo flight from Delhi. The incident has been reported by the Indigo crew and 2 people have been arrested. Nabi Yahya Khan was arrested for allegedly making a threat call to Mumbai police regarding a 1993 blast-like explosion in the city. Police said that Nabi has a dozen cases against him and was also arrested before. Police are yet to ascertain the cause of the threat call. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence of Coimbatore intercepted 6 passengers who bought gold in concealment from Sharjah. The total quantity of gold seized was 3.54 kilograms, valued at 2.05 crores. One person named Muthu Kumar has been arrested in the case. Days after a teenage shot at a 50-year-old grocery store owner in Bhajanpara area, New Delhi, the 17-year-old accused has been taken into custody and a pistol has been recovered by the police. As per the preliminary probe, the accused had registered a case and 4 POCSO Act sections against the victim's son in the year 2021. Tunisha Sharma's mother made yet another claim, accusing co-actor Shazan of not taking her to a nearby hospital. Tunisha's mother claims she was breathing and could have been saved if taken to the hospital on time. Visibility continued to remain low in Delhi as the city was covered in a layer of dense fog. At around 29 trains are running late by almost 2 hours. At least 100 domestic flights have been delayed from the Indira Gandhi International Airport due to very dense fog. Illegally constructed building of the Adhigam coaching center was demolished in Jaipur, Rajasthan after the owners failed to meet deadlines of vacating the place. Notices were sent to the 4 coaching operators, including teacher recruitment exam paper leak accused Anil Agarwal and 3 others. JDU National President Lalan Singh has said that instead of Narendra Modi, Nitish Kumar deserves to be the country's Prime Minister. He further added that the Prime Minister Modi implemented the same scheme in the year 2019 and was implemented by Nitish Kumar in 2015.
2019 में लागू करते हैं, जो योजना मुख्यमंत्री 2015 में लागू करते हैं, उसको आप 2019 में लागू करते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री के बनने के लायक नरेंद्र मोदी है कि नीतीश कुमार जी है, ये फैसला आपको करना है इस बिहार की जनता।
A massive fire broke out in Madurai Collectorate, destroying the Pongal customs worth lakhs of rupees. 4-5 fire tenders rushed to the spot. However, the cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. After the military had to intervene to control thousands of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro supporters who wreaked massive havoc on the streets of the country, the Prime Minister now, Narendra Modi, has said that the democratic traditions must be respected and that India will extend its full support to the Brazilian authorities. US President Joe Biden condemned the assault on democracy in Brazil after supporters of the former president invaded the country's top government offices. President Joe Biden said that the situation in Brazil was outrageous and joined Lula in calling for an immediate end to the attacks. At least 40 people were killed and dozens injured in a bus crash in central Senegal. The big collision had happened where at least 85 people got seriously injured. Supporters of the Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, who refused to accept his electoral defeat, stormed Congress, Supreme Court and Presidential Palace in Brazil. Thousands of demonstrators bypassed security barricades, broke windows, invaded all three buildings. President Joe Biden arrived at the US-Mexico border for a first-hand look at border security. Biden is expected to meet with border officials to discuss migration as well as the increased trafficking of the other synthetic opioids. Prince William claimed in his new memoir that he killed 25 people in Afghanistan, that this has reignited anger in the country over widespread civilian deaths in British and US coalition-led airstrikes. Unrest continued in Peru as protesters kept up rallies against interim president, and the protesters in the southern city of Juliaca took to the streets, urging the president to resign. President Joe Biden carried out his inspection at the US-Mexico border on his first trip to the region after 2 years in office. Biden's announcement on border security and his visit to the border are aimed in blunting the impact of upcoming investigations into immigration as promised by Republicans. Hundreds of supporters of Brazil's far-right ex-president broke through the police barricades and stormed into Congress after failing to repel the invasion. Security forces used tear gas bombs fired from helicopters trying to disperse the protesters. Final arrangements are being made in Cornwall ahead of the several satellites being launched into space, the first rocket launch from UK soil. The initial window for the historic mission will open at 10:16 today, with additional backup dates continuing into May and more into January. Taliban have barred Afghan women from working at NGOs on one hand. On the other hand, aid groups and the UN said that women are vital for the delivery of life-saving assistance in Afghanistan, are calling for the ban's reversal. The Bosnian Serb separatist leader awarded Russian President Vladimir Putin with the highest medal of honor for his patriotic concern and love for the Serb-controlled Bosnia. The medal will be presented to Putin during the next meeting between the two. Time for sports action now. A huge gala event will be held in Cuttack ahead of the FIH Men's Hockey World Cup 2023, which will be held in Odisha. The marquee hockey event will be held in Bhubaneswar and Rourkela from January 13 to January 29. India is looking forward to doing better this time as they had crashed out of the semi-final in 2018. Australia captain Pat Cummins brimmed with confidence after winning 4 out of 5 tests in the dominant home summer in the third test against South Africa on Sunday. Cummins believes that team has a chance of winning test series in India. Australia have also won 4 test series in India in 3/4 of a century of touring the country, the last in 2004. New Zealand pacer Doug Bracewell has now been replaced for the Matt Henry. He will be a replacement for Matt Henry in the ODI squads for India and Pakistan. Henry was ruled out of the white ball series against Pakistan and India after suffering some strain on the final day of the second test in Karachi. Team USA celebrated with beer pong and champagne after winning the inaugural United Cup in Sydney on Sunday. Americans defeated Italy in the final of the mixed teams event to claim the historic first ever United Cup title. The players will head to Melbourne and prepare for the Australian Open starting next Monday. Ho Chi Minh City ran Southeast Asia's first major marathon of the year. More than 10,000 runners competed in the 42-kilometer, 21-kilometer and 10-kilometer, 5-kilometer and kids races. This year's event had a total prize of over 700 million Vietnamese dong. Jon Rahm began the new year on the PGA Tour by letting 7 shots behind to win the Century Tournament of Champions on Sunday with plenty of help from Colin Morikawa, who had a spectacular wipeout even by the standards of the country. Indian captain Rohit Sharma completes 12 years with his IPL franchise Mumbai Indians. He was bought by the Mumbai Indians in 2011 at the first mega IPL event auction. On completing yet another year with the most successful, Sharma has thanked the team, management and the fans. Union Minister Jyotiraditta Scindia on Sunday inaugurated the Gwalior Sports Festival and also played cricket with young players. Scindia told India that has a lot of potential, immense potential in the field of sports. The Gwalior Sports Festival will witness different types of sports at 4 different grounds, such as kabaddi and volleyball, basketball and cricket, which was the opening of the sports festival. Mumbai City FC head coach Des Buckingham said that his team's focus is not on the records but on putting up consistent performances instead. After the Islanders recorded a dominant 4-0 win against Kerala Blasters FC in the Indian Super League at the Mumbai. Now the Islanders lead top spot on the ISL table, who will still remain unbeaten in this season after 13 games. Kevin Durant is also to undergo an MRI after exiting the Brooklyn Nets win over the Miami Heat on Sunday after a knee surgery. And Durant sustained the injury with 1-5 remaining in the third quarter when Jimmy Butler fell back into the Nets forward after his shot. He was having a shot blocked by Ben Simmons.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर
All right, viewers, let's go to Prajwal is getting us more details. Prajwal, we believe that Siddaramaiah will be contesting from Kolar. Just take us through the details, Prajwal.
Information that is coming in now, where sources are pointing, and even Siddaramaiah at a public speech has confirmed to his close supporters that he will be contesting from Kolar, because there was a lot of speculation whether Siddaramaiah will be contesting from the Kolar Assembly constituency or whether he will be contesting from Varuna constituency, where his son Dr. Yatindra contests from. But finally now, the suspense is over here, and it is a big announcement which is now being made that Siddaramaiah will be going on and contesting from Kolar, and this happened right after the JDS sitting MLA Srinivas Gowda pledged his support to the Congress, stating that he will work for Siddaramaiah, he will make sure Siddaramaiah wins in the upcoming position, and he's ready to sacrifice his seat as well. And this is a huge setback for the JDS in the upcoming elections too, because Kolar was considered to be a bastion of the JDS, but now the JDS MLA openly going on and saying...
But now the JDS MLA openly going on and saying that he is going to go on and sacrifice his seat for the Congress is something which is definitely creating a lot of waves in the political circles in Karnataka. And also let's not forget that a few months ago this was the very same MLA Srinivasa Gowda who had also walked along with Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra too, where many of the sources had then hinted and even Republic had spoken about it, stating that he will be joining the Congress. But now finally an official confirmation coming that Siddaramaiah will also be contesting from Kolar. And also, even if you're looking at the voter dynamics in this particular constituency, we are looking at a lot of minority votes, mainly in the form of Muslims as well as the Kurubas and also the other backward classes too. And now there is also an official confirmation stating that KH Muniappa has also gone ahead and given support to Siddaramaiah, stating that let him go on to contest too. And Siddaramaiah has taken this final decision, a very calculated decision, after going on and also consenting with the fact that he also went ahead, conducted discussions along with the neighboring along with the MLAs of the neighboring constituencies who are also from the Congress too. So this is definitely a big move as well, and this will definitely go on and turn a lot of heat in the political circle. Also the fact that a month ago Siddaramaiah had stated that he will not be going on and contesting from Badami because Badami is quite far away from Bengaluru, and he will not be able to do justice for the people there too. So now the suspense is over, and we will have to see as to how the political ball will be rolling in Kolar in this particular regard. Out here, Shivangi.
Right. Okay. So this is a big announcement coming in right now, where we are seeing Siddaramaiah will be contesting from Kolar. And take us a little bit through exactly why this constituency is important, Prajwal.
Mainly now, Shivangi, Kolar is basically being seen as a safe seat for Siddaramaiah because of the minority votes, because of the Vokkaliga votes as well as the Kuruba votes too. Because if Siddaramaiah had one problem in Kolar, that was the votes of the Vokkaligas, because many of them stated that there was already a huge problem that he would be facing from the Vokkaligas, because the party was not happy with him, and the Vokkaligas will desert Siddaramaiah because they are not happy with the fact that DK Shivkumar was being sidelined. But after getting the support of DK Shivkumar, after KH Muniappa, who is the sitting MP of the Congress, and also his daughter Rupa Shashidhar also going on to extend the support she is the MLA from KGF, and therefore they also extended the support, because both KH Muniappa and Siddaramaiah were not on good terms earlier. But now, because the elections are fast approaching and because the High Command also intervened and there were several rounds of talks too, finally all of them came together and assured Siddaramaiah this is quite a safe seat and he can go on and win in this assembly constituency. And all this is working in the favor. Also with the fact that 55% of the voters constitute of Muslims in Kolar constituency, and with Zamir Ahmad backing him to the hilt, and with Zamir Ahmad going on to campaign for him, can be the game changer for the Congress, and therefore it is now being assumed that Kolar is definitely quite a safe seat for Siddaramaiah.
All right, thank you so much for joining us here. Prajwal getting us top details. Big news coming in, viewers. Big news coming in. It's a big move also by Siddaramaiah, where he will be contesting from Kolar. Thank you so much. And let's move ahead to the other big story we're tracking right now on Republic TV. Now, this is a case of a mid-air misbehavior. Now, what we can tell you, viewers, Indigo complaint against Unruly passenger has been accessed because a short while back, there was another mid-air incident that has come to light. A passenger has allegedly misbehaved with an air hostess under the influence of alcohol on Indigo flight from Patna to Delhi. And viewers, we have accessed the complaint filed by Indigo. The Indigo complaint against Unruly passenger has been accessed. And Harsha is going to get us all the details. Harsha, what does that complaint say against the Unruly passenger?
Exactly, Shivangi. Now we have got to know that this entire complaint was given by Indigo Airlines at the airport of the Bihar to the airport security and as well as the airport station, where they clearly stated that this unruly passenger was in a drunk state. He misbehaved and he insulted the crew members and the staff of the Indigo Airlines. He was not in his senses, and therefore he was at when the flight landed at the Bihar airport, at the Patna airport. Immediately he was handed over to the airport security and the case was lodged against him. So the accused has been identified as Rohit Kumar and Nitish Kumar. Now the entire investigation is being done against them. They have been arrested by the airport security and then handed over to the Bihar airport station, to the police officer over there. Now the part of the investigation will be, Shivangi, that how that they exactly consumed the drink while they were carrying something on their in their luggage while they were boarding the flight, or they already consumed the alcohol. How much did they consume the alcohol? They were not exactly in their senses. They misbehaved, and this is something which these days has been seen in the mid-air airlines. Such serious incidents are being reported from many of the airlines. Now Indigo is one amongst them, because this flight was going day before yesterday from national capital to Bihar. When in this flight this entire incident has been happened, the accused hailed from the Hajipur area. The two of them now are under the arrest and now are in the custody of the airport police station, where this entire investigation is being done, and the Indigo have filed a formal complaint and handed over to the police officials over there, where they have entirely told about in detail about the incident, exactly what happened in the airlines. Shivangi, back to you.
All right, Harsha, thank you for getting us all the details and keeping us ahead on the story. So 2 people have been arrested. The Indigo complaint has been accessed by Republic TV. Taking a very short break, viewers. We continue to be live and breaking this afternoon. All right, some more breaking news is coming in right now, viewers. We'll get the complaint for you and put it on our screens. But let's talk about this story which has come to the fore, where another mid-air incident has been reported. This time, there has been misbehavior with an air hostess under the influence of alcohol on an Indigo flight from Patna to Delhi, and 2 people have been arrested as well. And Republic TV has accessed the Indigo complaint against the Unruly passenger. Let's take a very short break. Much more coming up on the other side. We continue to be live and breaking. Tamil Nadu government versus governor face-off escalates in assembly as governor proposes state's name change and calls Dravidian politics regressive. Multiple teams rushed. Joshimath declared disaster-prone. Rescue and relief operations are now underway. Top court will hear the matter tomorrow. Stay tuned.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side, and they didn't stop. They were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath. There you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals.
Coming across to breaking news coming in, a huge controversy over the release of Siddaramaiah's book by the BJP, where BJP is set to release the book titled Siddaramaiah's True Dreams. That will highlight Congress's soft stance towards the PFI and withdrawal of case. BJP is also wanting to highlight Siddaramaiah's stance on Tipu Sultan. Siddaramaiah, dressed like Tipu Sultan, is seen on the cover of the book. And there is a huge showdown over Siddaramaiah's book release. Prajwal is with us on the phone line to give us details of what's happening there right now. Over to you, Prajwal.
Now we are getting more and more information. Now we are also seeing those visuals where hundreds of Congress workers in the other group also started coming out in large numbers. Now they are again being burnt out, and majority have an a stay order from the Supreme Court which goes on and points out the fact that the book is not. Therefore, on the backdrop of the book, it is not now, but also not seeing Dr. C. and Ashwatthanaran.
Alright, so you see what's happening there and how the police is now intervening to take control. It is a huge showdown over Siddaramaiah's book release, where Congress workers are coming out in large numbers, but the BJP is bent on highlighting how the Congress has always gone on to appease certain sections, and this is what the controversy is all about, where the BJP is wanting to highlight through this book what they title as Siddaramaiah's True Dreams, of Congress's soft stance towards the PFI and the withdrawal of very many cases. Most importantly, in this book, on the cover, Siddaramaiah is dressed like Tipu Sultan. And you see how unruly scenes have unfolded. There on your screens, a lot of anger that is being seen. And this has certainly become a point of face-off between the BJP and Karnataka Congress. Prajwal is back with us. Prajwal, well, certainly very, very dramatic scenes coming in. Give us the details of what's happening.
Absolutely, because now if you look at it, this was the final straw here, because somewhat the BJP knows that if they go on and release the book, they will be highlighting against, they will be highlighting the atrocities. They will be atrocities. Okay, now we are getting some more news stating that the event has already been stopped here. We are getting in information now that the event has been stopped too. And we will also be getting in voices stating that the event has already been, it has been now stayed by the court too. We are also seeing BJP leader Charvadi Narayan Swamy, who's come here. And we are also expecting a reaction from him. He's also reacting to the media. Let's listen in.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಅವರು ಬರಲಿ ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರಲಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬನ್ನಿ Sir, now the event has been stopped. What do you have to say in this regard?
ಕನಸಿನ ಪುಸ್ತಕನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಾ ರದ್ದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ಮಾನ್ಯ ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ,
ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಹೇಳಿ.
ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ತಡೆಯಾಜ್ಞೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಗೌರವಿಸಿ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಮುಂದೂಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ರದ್ದುಪಡಿಸಿಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದೂಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮುಂದೂಡಿದೆ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ತಡೆಯಾಜ್ಞೆ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆರವುಗೊಳಿಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೋರಾಟವನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಾಪಕರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
All right, so you see the angry reactions that are now coming in. We'll also have Prajwal explain to us what these sound bites are really meaning to say since they are in Kannada. But Karnataka Congress Chief D.K. Shivkumar, who said that the book has no value and the BJP is doing this out of frustration. That is exactly how the Congress on the ground is reacting, where D.K. Shivkumar has also said that if Siddaramaiah did anything wrong, then why isn't the BJP taking action today? So this is the Karnataka Congress in its defense over the charges that are being levelled by the BJP on the soft stance of the Congress when it comes to appeasing certain sections, and most importantly, how they have been towards the PFI and the withdrawal of many cases in connection to the same. This is exactly what is coming out in reports of what the book will highlight. The alleged misrule in the state during Siddaramaiah's tenure as a chief minister. And now the Congress has come down in large numbers protesting on the streets against the BJP, as they are saying that this book has no value and it is a frustrated Congress that is doing this. D.K. Shivkumar has also gone on to say that if Siddaramaiah did anything wrong, why isn't the BJP taking action? But this has certainly become a huge point of standoff between the BJP and the Congress on the ground in Karnataka, where Congress has been criticizing the BJP, accusing it of cowardice in front of the party's top leadership. And ahead of the polls in Karnataka, we see this full-blown fight between the two parties over Siddaramaiah's book that the BJP is highlighting, which they term as the misrule of Siddaramaiah allegedly. We see a massive showdown in Karnataka, and many of those Congress workers who have been detained as they are protesting against the BJP over what they are saying against Siddaramaiah. The civil court has ordered a stay on the book, so obviously the book is not out, but the very fact that the BJP is attempting to do all this is what is angering the Congress in this case, and we see how they are out on the streets protesting against the BJP. Prajwal, I believe you're with us on the phone line. Give us a sense of those angry reactions that were coming in, what the Congress is saying. We understand what they mean in the larger context. But this has become very, very dramatic. Some Congress leaders have also been detained in this respect. And that is certainly not stopping them from going out in a full-blown protest that they are staging in Karnataka right now, where they are raising their voice against the BJP. D.K. Shivkumar also saying that the BJP is frustrated, and if it is really about Siddaramaiah, then why don't they take action against him? But while the civil court has ordered a stay on the release of the book, this is not stopping the Congress from trying in every which way that the BJP does not go ahead.
ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಗೆ ಯತೀಂದ್ರ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು. ಸ್ಟೇ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಾರಣದಲ್ಲೂ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ
See what is happening there in Karnataka on the grounds, and many of those Congress leaders who have been detained, but they are raising their voice against the BJP. Those are the scenes unfolding in Karnataka, where there is a massive row over Siddaramaiah's book release, which, remember, as per the civil court, will not be out. 3 p.m. was the scheduled time of the BJP, as the civil court has ordered a stay on that book. But that is not stopping the Congress from any which way, as they're going on to protest against the BJP. We also understand how many of these political fights have been ongoing ahead of the polls in Karnataka, but this is certainly a huge face-off between the two parties, as many of those Congress leaders have also been detained. Niranjan, I believe you're with me on the phone line, and a lot of those angry reactions were in Kannada. Decipher that for our viewers and what the Congress is saying on the ground, because they are saying that the BJP is frustrated, and if it is really about Siddaramaiah and the inaction against PFI, then why don't they take action?
Well, this is an ongoing face-off. In fact, this is the latest stunt. The BJP saying that they've sort of they've called Siddaramaiah a lot of names in the last few weeks and months, especially in the run-up to the general election, the state elections next year, and they've called him Siddaramullah, etc. And they basically, the fight has been around his stand taken on several issues, and they say that Siddaramaiah is soft on minorities for a particular reason. So these have been some of the statements that the BJP leaders have been saying, but they've taken it to an altogether new level with this book that they are releasing. And in Kannada, I think you just heard some of them speak as well. And there are protests. They've been protesting since morning. Some of the Congress workers have been protesting, saying that this is not required. This is completely taking it to another level, etc. And so that's basically the fight so far. Congress workers have been, in large numbers. There's a town hall in Bengaluru. This is a town hall in Bengaluru, in the middle of Bengaluru, in a very sort of a market area. Basically, this is where the markets are, and they've been protesting here since morning. They tried to get out of the town hall to try and stop that event, which was scheduled to take place. We were told that BJP leaders will be releasing that book, and the Congress workers also waived some injunction order and to tell the police, to stop the event. And basically, they've been saying that this is taking it to another level, and this is a defamatory in nature. And this is an attempt to defame Siddaramaiah ahead of the elections, because the BJP's entire attempt has been to sort of paint him as someone who's pro minorities to an extent where he's openly sort of try to say that he's anti-Hindu and pro-Muslim, etc. So even the book cover, for example, was Siddaramaiah dressed like Tipu Sultan. So the Congress is saying this is completely out of line, taking it to a different level, and even the BJP, for them to release a book, takes it takes the fight all the more to the next level. And he's one of the top leaders in Karnataka, if not the topmost, because he and Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar are in the race to be the chief minister. Both of them contenders, and that's why you're seeing that these directed attacks by the BJP at Siddaramaiah, because even between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar, it's Siddaramaiah who has the upper hand as far as the Congress High Command is concerned. They're trying to sort of portray him as the chief ministerial candidate, the aspirant, and the front runner. And within the Congress itself, they've been, having this divided house over whether they should do that, whether that, split should be shown out in the open. And you're looking at these protests, the shots of the protests of Congress workers being picked up and taken in a bus right now. And I think Prajwal is also joining us, so I'm handing it over to him to take it forward from here on the details available and the pictures that are coming in. Over to you.
Yes. Prajwal, please talk to us. We hear those angry voices from the ground, Congress leaders being detained. And what exactly are they saying? How do they now want to go about it? Given that the civil court has ordered a stay on this book, but they know that the fight is only going to intensify against the BJP.
Absolutely now, because just a few moments ago we also saw around 100 to 200 Congress workers who came out in large numbers, and all these Congress workers had the stay order, the injunction order, which was issued by the city civil court. So it clearly goes on and gives a message out to the organizers that the event had to be stopped. So rightfully now even the organizers have stopped this particular event, and now we are getting to learn from the BJP leader himself. Just a few moments ago, while we were speaking to Chaluvadi Narayan Swamy, saying that he has come in only as a guest and this is not a BJP program and this is being conducted by a private entity, and they have gone on to publish this particular book, and he does not have any idea about what the contents of the book were as well. And apart from that, they also stated that this event has not been cancelled but it has been postponed, meaning to say that the BJP is keeping everybody on the tenterhooks. They're keeping everybody waiting, and they're also not revealing the contents of this particular book because there's already an injunction order which has come in now saying that the contents of the book will not have to be published either in electronic or print form as well too. So this is something which we will have to wait out for. But the BJP is still adamant. They're still keeping at it and saying that no matter what, we will go on and release this particular book. And by the cover of the book, as well as a few contents which was released earlier, they mainly want to go on and portray an image of Siddaramaiah going on to state that he is anti-Hindu. He is going on to support the PFI, and his stance has been really soft as well. Let's also go across and try to get in a few voices a few voices as well. We are also having Chaluvadi Narayan Swamy, the BJP leader, and he will be joining us shortly from now once he addresses the BJP workers as well as the BJP cadres too, because it is being understood that a lot of them had come in. There was quite a huge number over here, 500 to 600 in number, and all of them have been dispersed too. So he's stating that they should all maintain peace and they should go ahead, but the contents of the book will be released, if not today then tomorrow, and they will make sure that this particular event will be held too. So when will be the date of this event, we will have to wait, and we will also have to ask the publishers and the organizers of the event too, because as soon as the stay order was issued, the BJP distanced themselves. The BJP distanced themselves from this particular event, saying that it was not a BJP organized event, but it was a private event too. So we are waiting in to get voices on this, but this has definitely snowballed into one of the biggest political controversies now, and especially targeting Siddaramaiah, because one point that Niranjan was also pointing out to the fact that we very well know that Siddaramaiah is also a front runner for the post of the CM if the Congress comes to power in Karnataka as well. So now the BJP also knows that breaking the backbone of Siddaramaiah is very, breaking him where it matters the most is something which will be easier. And also with the sort of image that Siddaramaiah has now, they're only adding fuel to the fire over here and highlighting the fact about the Congress's stance, and mainly Siddaramaiah's stance on the PFI cadres as well, and also their stance on terrorism too here.
Continue talking to us, Prajwal, and try and get us more voices on that, because it will be interesting to see how the BJP takes this forward. We understand the charges that they're really pressing against Siddaramaiah through this book. But also the very fact, like you said, that this is bound to snowball ahead of the elections in Karnataka and how such fights will intensify. But really, whether the Congress will now further try and fight this legally, the civil court has imposed a stay on this book on, as the Congress puts it, hurting the image of Siddaramaiah, and even with the BJP going on to push this very aspect against Siddaramaiah, if not through the book, how will they go ahead?
Now they are saying that even if it is not released in the form of a book, this will be made viral. This particular content will be made viral on social media, and they will not release it in the form of pamphlets, but more of in the form of notes. Podcast too is something which was being discussed by them, and moreover now they are saying that this will be, this will be published on the social media too. How will they go on and publish this in the social media is something that has to be seen now. And the BJP is still maintaining the fact that this particular event has not been cancelled, but it has been postponed too. So this is something which we will have to go on and watch out for. But all said and done, definitely quite a setback for the BJP when they were looking to go on and mount the attack on Siddaramaiah. And more off on this, we will have to go on and get voices. But before that, on this quick note, let's also quickly slip into a short break. More news and updates on the other side, only on Republic. Stay tuned.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition.
This is Shivangi Shukla reporting from Delhi NCR, and this is Republic.
हमने सभी लोगों से अनुरोध किया है कि ये समय सबको मिलजुल कर जोशीमठ को बचाने का समय है। सब लोग एक टीम के रूप में काम करें, सभी लोग मिलकर, सरकार है, सामाजिक संगठन है, राजनीतिक संगठन है, हमारी सबकी पहली प्राथमिकता है कि जोशीमठ शहर बचना चाहिए और लोगों की जान माल की सुरक्षा होनी चाहिए। जहां सभी लोगों से मैंने मिलकर भी वैसे भी अनुरोध किया है और लोग लगे भी हैं, सब लोग अब इस काम पर लग गए हैं और जो खतरे की जद में आने वाले 68 मकान थे उन सभी को शिफ्ट किया गया है और जो एक जोन बना है 600 मकानों से अधिक का, उनको भी वहां से सुरक्षित स्थानों पर ले जाने की कार्रवाई गतिमान है और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी लगातार इसकी समीक्षा कर रहे हैं, लगातार व्यक्तिगत रूप से वो जानकारी ले रहे हैं और उन्होंने हर संभव यहाँ पर मदद का हमको सहायता का आश्वासन दिया कि हर प्रकार से सहायता होगी। कल पीएमओ ने भी मीटिंग करी है, हमारे राज्य के भी सभी अधिकारीगण, चीफ सेक्रेटरी कल वहाँ गए थे, सारा आकलन उन्होंने भी कर दिया है और हमारी कोशिश है कि सभी लोगों को फिलहाल सुरक्षित किया जाए।
This is Abhishek Kapoor reporting from New Delhi and this is Republic.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these two are the weapons that have been recovered along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी।
I'm Niranjan Narayanaswamy in Mumbai and this is Republic. Aam Aadmi Party workers and leaders are planning to take out a protest march from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters till the LG house, and they have now been stopped by the Delhi police. Let me straight away try to show you the pictures of this protest which is now underway. This protest is taking place against the kind of behavior which was done allegedly by BJP. This is what the Aam Aadmi Party is claiming, and that is why Aam Aadmi Party workers are now taking out this protest march. You can see as to how they are sitting there on the roads after they are being stopped. They are holding this placard which reads "Bhajpa walo sharm karo, संविधान की हत्या करना बंद करो." So protest versus protest is taking place after the kind of visuals, unprecedented visuals we saw coming in from Delhi Civic Center, where full-blown war took place, violence took place, brawls were exchanged.
BJP having lesser number of members is trying to make its mayor by foul means. But
the question here is that BJP is saying that their councillors have been attacked by Aam Aadmi Party councillors. We also saw the pictures coming in where one of your councillors was seen holding a chair in his hand and he was trying to throw it on a BJP councillor. How are we going to justify this?
No, it's completely false statement by Bhajpa.
हमारा मांगना यह है कि जो संविधान में लिखा है उसको ठीक ढंग से लागू किया जाए।
लिखा है क्या कहना
जो भी है, जैसा कि नॉमिनेट पार्षद है उनको बाद में वो दी जाती है, और वो
मतलब थोड़ी सर कानून हाथ में ले लेंगे, लड़ाई झगड़ा थोड़ी करेंगे।
मचा रखे सबसे पहले नॉमिनेट पार्षदों को ही उन्होंने और दिलाने की कोशिश की, जो कि गलत है।
Try to show you the pictures of barricading those that have been put up here. These these workers have now been stopped here by Delhi police personnel have been deployed. CRPF personnel have been deployed here. Multiple layers of barricading has been done to stop these workers. In fact, water cannon have also been called in, looking into the massive protest which has been announced by Aam Aadmi Party.
I'm Shravan Sen reporting from New Delhi, and this is Republic TV.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीर
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Two drunk men are arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. First pictures of the arrest. You see that on Republic Now. Anger mounts as more voices join the Republic campaign. India says no louds on planes anymore. Major face-off in Karnataka over the BJP's book on Siddaramaiah. The Congress stages a protest. Court puts a stay now on the release of the book. Punjab cop chasing the carjackers is killed by armed assailants. Not even police personnel are safe in Bhagwant Singh Man's government. Same Congress that defended terrorist Sharik now dons silence as their own leader's son now is arrested in the Shivamoga bomb blast case. And Tamil Nadu government versus the governor face-off escalates in the assembly as the governor proposes state's name be changed and he calls Dravidian polities regressive. We've cut across to these breaking images that you see now on your screens. Reports of a major fire that has broken out in Gurugram in Haryana. You see those images on your screens. In fact, we are learning that fire tenders already have been rushed to the spot. These are shanties, as you can see on your screens. And we are still waiting for initial details to come in, but this does look like a massive blaze in Gurugram in Haryana, very close to the Delhi region. These are the shanties that you see up in smoke, and firefighters at the point there trying to douse the fire, helpless families. A lot of them possibly have lost their homes, it seems like, but like I said, these are the first pictures that you see on your screens. We'll try and see if we can get our reporters who have more details to how many fire tenders right now have been rushed to the spot. It is a big fire that has broken out in a slum area in the Gurugram area of the NCR region. Madhurima, I'm told, is joining us. She has more details. Madhurima, what more do we know about the fire? How many fire tenders have been pressed into service, and what is the latest that you can tell us? Madhurima? We'll actually keep our focus on that big story developing in from the Gurugram area. But right now, remember, let's get you abreast with this big Republic campaign. And in fact, I'm just going to be requesting our producers to put out the numbers that you can call us on. Also, our WhatsApp numbers where you, the viewer, can speak up. If you have a horror story to tell, you can actually dial Republic and trust Republic to actually ensure that your voice reaches to those who have to be accountable. Remember, in the last just 3 months, our team has been able to put together at least about 6 instances of unruly behavior, unruly passengers, all that have been reported on different airlines. And what is the common thread to all these stories, as we'll just get the graphics up on our wall here, is that there has hardly been any action. The DGCA makes it very, very clear that there has to be action if there is an unruly passenger on board. But has that happened? The answer is no. Not just that. Do remember, the rule book makes it very, very clear that you have to ensure that the airlines report every such matter to the authorities. Does that happen? Now, the Air India case has shown us that does not. Right now, what you're seeing on your screens is a video I think that all of you must have seen on the social media, on elsewhere, on your WhatsApp groups. Now, this was circulated. This is what is happening, where you had a kind of a tiff happening between this crew member, you see her here, and this passenger. This passenger goes on actually to call one of the crew members a servant, quote unquote servant. Now, what this crew member did, she maintained her calm. She maintained her calm and she actually replied in a tone that many would say was not just aggressive but required. She actually made him realize that I'm not a servant. I'm an employee here right now. I'm a crew member. My only job here is to assist you to ensure that your travel becomes smooth and safe. But again and again, you know, whether it is that incident of the Thai Smile flight to also what we've seen in Patna. Now, the Patna incident isn't very different. In fact, the allegation here is that two drunk men later were arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. And like I said, you will see a rerun of these episodes playing out on our airlines, on our carriers again and again and again. But the crucial question that we ask, and that is also our hashtag, we say punish these rowdy flyers. On the bottom of your screens, you're continuously looking at these numbers, remember, that are flashing, that will give you a better idea where you can call us and speak to us. And like I said, Republic is your voice. Republic will ensure that whatever you say today is actually taken to the people who are accountable, whether that is in the Civil Aviation Ministry to the DGCA. Now, what really happens? You must be wondering that what really is the standard operating procedure in case you have an incident like this. So how to handle unruly passengers? Remember the DGCA guidelines right now in an advisory that has been issued just about 72 hours ago. They say that use restraining devices if needed. Now, we've all seen handcuffs. Now what the DGCA is recommending to all the airlines is that in your cabin, do keep a handcuff-like device. Why? Because you never know, you might have to use it for an unruly passenger. The other rule and the guideline says ban the flyer for a maximum of 30 days. Now clearly there can be a good debate on the fact whether this 30-day period is, enough, not enough, and in a case like Air India, where remember till now you haven't seen much of an action happening on the captain, the crew, what about the airline's own accountability? Can an apology be good enough? We say no. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, clearly has become a pattern. The reason why we say that any such video that remember you will see on the social media or elsewhere is taken note of. But what about the action? The action does not take place in all these instances. Let's bring up our guests on the entire show, and like I said, we are taking your calls live, so do call us on those numbers that are flashing on the bottom of your screens. I do see Mr. Vipul Saxena, who's an aviation expert, joining us. Kapil is also an advocate of the Supreme Court, and I'm told he has a very strong opinion on this entire episode. Also, Dr. Sanath Kaul is the chairman of the International Foundation for Aviation, also with us on the broadcast. So good evening to all of you gentlemen, and I'll take my first question to Dr. Sanath and then to Kapil and Mr. Vipul. Dr. Kaul, what do you believe, sir, needs to be done? There clearly is a pattern. There is a pattern in a lot of airlines wanting to cover up such instances like what happened in the Air India case, and until Republic went to town shouting about the story, there was no action. To such unruly passengers that we see on flights almost every second day, what do you think, sir, needs to be done?
Okay. Now, this is an international problem. International Civil Aviation Organization has got a lot of documentation on disruptive and unruly passengers. These have to be followed by each member country. India is one of them. And India should have its own regulation on that. DGCA has a regulation, it's rather weak. It puts all the blame or all the responsibility on the airline, which is also there. But the DGCA must have stricter regulation. Two, the passengers in India are rowdy and they have to be put in place. I want to make another point is that airline travel, unlike any other bus or railways, is a safety issue. Any disruption in air flight, any argument, any drunken behavior can lead to a safety mishap. So this is a very important thing, and the regulation, as we see now, are weak and they don't have sufficient strength in them, not enough muscle in them, and therefore there is need for an improvement. A 30-day ban on a particular person by one airline is not enough. The DGCA also has to put in that this person is not capable, is not responsible enough to travel by air. Therefore, he is being banned, because of his unruly behavior. Either he is fighting in the aircraft or he is getting into a drunken behavior. Therefore, the regulation by DGCA needs further improvement, further strictness, and there has to be also some sort of a committee. Which a committee is there for the airline, but there should be a committee by under the DGCA which has a second tier level where a greater misbehavior by a passenger which leads to a threat on the airline, the passenger can be told, well, either 6 months, 6 years, or total ban, that you are not capable, you are not good enough to travel by air. And I think that is now required in India because the way things are going wrong. Now, I will give you an instance why airlines are also weak. I have traveled by Air India from New York to Delhi in 2004 or so, when one passenger in the first class started misbehaving, asking for more and more drinks, and the crew said, no, you will not get any more drinks. He said, I demand more drinks, I have paid for it.
Okay.
I will go and talk to the managing director, chairman, I'll have you thrown out and all that. The crew made a note, got it signed by all the other passengers, and after that, all his drunkenness, all his misbehavior, and showed it to him, and all his drunkenness and misbehavior was over, and he just sat quietly. He shut up till the end of the flight. So it is for the crew also to take a tactical view of how to handle a passenger. Now I'm giving an example of the same airline which did such a fantastic job at that time, that particular passenger who was totally drunk was not given any more alcohol, and after that he just cooled off because all the passengers supported the crew. Thank you.
Okay. But you know, unfortunately, Mr. Kaul, we haven't seen something like that actually happening on the Air India flight. And the reason why we reiterate that, because that's a classic case of what happens when an airline decides to cover up an extremely horrendous case like, you know, this victim actually went through. And with your permission, Mr. Saxena and Kapil, I'm just going to come back to both of you gentlemen in a bit. The story is moving fast because there is some bit of action also on those two drunk men who've been arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. Our colleague Prakash, in fact, you see those images on your screens of that entire moment, the entire incident. He's spoken to the cops. Let's play out what he's got for us.
कंप्लेन किया गया कि 2 पैसेंजर हैं जो नशे किए हुए हैं, तो उस सूचना पर यहाँ से जेएसआई जो हैं रणधीर कुमार और एक एएसआई लोग गश्ती दल के साथ गए वहाँ पर। तो इंडिगो के द्वारा 2 पैसेंजर को, एक नीतीश कुमार और एक रोहित कुमार, दोनों को हैंडओवर किया गया। उसको लाकर यहाँ पर ब्रेथ एनालाइजर से हम लोग उसको जांच किए तो उसमें शराब पीने का पुष्टि हुई। तो दोनों को बिहार एक्साइज अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, प्रोहिबिशन एंड एक्साइज अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 2023 के अंतर्गत सेक्शन 37 के अंतर्गत उसमें एफआईआर किया गया। दोनों का आज मेडिकल कराया गया, कोरोना जांच कराया गया, उसका फिर अब एक्साइज कोर्ट में भेज दिया गया।
तो पूरा मामला क्या हुआ था वहाँ पर?
यही था कि वो लोग दोनों पिए हुए थे और
हंगामा भी किया। और
हंगामा का कोई वैसी आपको जो कंप्लेन किया गया है, बस उसका मैनेजर भी आया हुआ था, सब पत्रकारों के सामने बोला कि ऐसा कोई हंगामा की बात नहीं है।
कंप्लेंट क्या है कि वो लोग
नशा किया, दारू पिया,
चलती फ्लाइट में, उड़ते हुए फ्लाइट में शराब पी रहे?
नहीं, शराब पी कर ही चले थे वो लोग। शराब पीने का नहीं, ऐसा शराब ना कोई रिकवर भी नहीं है, कोई ना बोतल, ऐसे कुछ रिकवर सीजर लिस्ट कुछ नहीं दिया गया उन लोग द्वारा। वो केवल का दारू पिया हुआ था, नशा में है लोग। तो उन लोगों को जैसे निकल रहा था तो उनको रोक लिया गया इंडिगो के द्वारा।
ट्रेन में कोई हंगामा नहीं हुआ?
ट्रेन का हंगामा कुछ नहीं हुआ,
मतलब
ना मारपीट से कोई छेड़छाड़ का बात जो दिखाया
एयर होस्टेस से
कुछ नहीं हुआ। उसका आपका एफआईआर देखिएगा, एफआईआर में कुछ नहीं है, उसमें लिखा हुआ है एफआईआर भेजा कोर्ट गया हुआ है। उसमें सिंपल है कि वो लोग दारू नशा किया है लोग।
किसके द्वारा किया?
वो असिस्टेंट सिक्योरिटी मैनेजर नीरज कुमार इंडिगो का।
उन्होंने क्या लिखा है एफआईआर में?
लिखा कि वो लोग अनरूली बिहेवियर है, नशा किए हैं, दारू पिए हुए हैं, तो उसी पर एफआईआर हुआ।
अनरूली बिहेवियर तो
मतलब दारू पिया हुआ है तो उसको अनरूली ले गया। वो लोग सच्चाई ये बता रहा कि कुछ बता रहे थे कि वो लोग जो सामान रख रहे थे तो स्मेल आया, तो ऊपर बैगेज रखा था तो स्मेल आया, तो वो लोग को सूचना दे दिएगा। तो ये लोग को कुछ नहीं हुआ, सोया हुआ था।
किसने सूचना दिया? केबिन क्रू ने?
हाँ, केबिन क्रू दे दिया। तो उसके बाद इन लोगों को जब बाहर निकल रहा था तब इन लोगों को रोक लिया गया। इन लोगों को
किसी पैसेंजर के साथ इन दोनों ने
कोई पैसेंजर के साथ शिकायत भी नहीं, पैसेंजर के द्वारा शिकायत भी नहीं किया गया है, और ना उनके आवेदन में जो सिक्योरिटी इंडिगो के मैनेजर हैं उनके आवेदन में भी ऐसी कोई बात नहीं कही है।
कोई
छेड़खानी कुछ नहीं किया।
All right, so the cop they're saying more of the sections that now have been slapped against these two drunk men. But you know, Kapil, before I come to Mr. Saxena, why don't you weigh in on the legal aspect of such cases? You know, like what happened in the Air India case? Clearly, you know, like a senior citizen, like who was the victim in the entire case, does she have the might, the stamina, the energy, the money to take on such a huge corporate group? If that corporate group, Kapil, actually decides to go in for a huge cover-up like the way they did?
Well, that is where the media comes in. That is first. So kudos to all of you. That's one obviously there. You really can't now hide action like this. And the might of all these companies and corporates cannot be, cannot actually brush incidents like this under the carpet. That's very important. Unfortunately, our laws haven't kept in pace. Unfortunately, as far as consumer courts are concerned, it's a very slow process. And there is a lot of protection given to the aviation industry per se. When we actually talk about the laws, we're talking about international conventions, first of all. We're talking about things like the Montreal Convention, the Warsaw Convention, and lastly, the Tokyo Convention. As far as the first two conventions were concerned, they were there to protect the aviation industry and kind of limit the liability of an airline. But when you're talking about Indian laws and, state laws, when I say state, I'm talking about different countries. Different countries have their own local laws. So you're talking about the regulation right now that is more penal in nature, which has three parts. The first part is when somebody is making comments, etc. The second is when the person abuses, physically touches an employee of the aviation company or a co-passenger. There can be a physical restraint can be removed. And the third, of course, is much higher when he damages the property of the airlines, where of course the punishment is very high. So it's very commercial in nature as far as when you're talking about the regulation is concerned and what the law, the IATA guidelines, etc. are concerned.
Yes.
Now you rightly stated that they have stated that there's some kind of device that has to be put in every airlines to physically restrain such kind of passengers, which is important. But when you talk about the Indian Penal Code, the aircraft rules, which you already talked about, as far as the Indian Penal Code is concerned, unfortunately, it hasn't really kept in pace with what's really happening. You're actually talking about minor offences like mischief.
Why? Kapil, we know that for a fact. And I will ask you why, and I'll get in Mr. Saxena also. But with your permission, we have a caller who's been very patiently holding the phone line. Let's get in a citizen's voice also, because this, at the end of the day, is a Republic campaign. I want to say good evening to Major Vijay, who's calling us from Delhi. And Major Vijay, thank you so much, sir, for calling, and thank you for your patience. What would you want to say, sir?
Good evening to everyone. I just want to share an experience of myself. A couple of years back, I was traveling very late night flight from Bombay or Mumbai to Delhi. While we were moving to the runway, and one or two passengers, I don't know they were in a tipsy condition or not, they started initially with a verbal misbehavior. Subsequently, they tried to be, very physical about the air hostess. When the air hostess resisted, and we were still going to the main takeoff point, and I was sitting nearby. I immediately told the flight purser or the head of the flight purser that why don't you ask the pilot to take it back to the original point? You're not still taken off. Let us go back to the embarkation point and download these two passengers. And I being a veteran of the army, I immediately called the CISF personnel, handed over these two personnel, deboarded them, and I told them to take care of him. Number one. Number two, as far as the immobilization is concerned, I would say that we normally give training to use the pepper spray. Even if you want to have a handcuff in an international flight or any flight, you require a couple of people to put this handcuff on the inhabilitated state of person. He might be very violent also. Why not use the pepper spray and immobilize for some time, then put the handcuffs? This is my take on that.
Okay. I think you make a very good point, sir, and because you've been there and you say that you've not just experienced but you ensured that these people were actually apprehended in time, I think kudos to you. We obviously need more citizens to be able to do this, but the point is, can citizens really do this? I thank you, sir, for calling us, and we promise that we will ensure that your voice is reflected in what the DGC is thinking right now. Let's go back to our panel of guests, Kapil. I think that's a very interesting suggestion that Major Vijay has made. But before I come to you and I allow you to complete your point, Vipul hasn't spoken yet. Vipul, what do you think should be done? Because clearly there is, not just the airline side, there are also these unruly passengers. Sometimes airlines, like the Air India case, they decide to, hush up the entire case. They try to broker a deal between the victim and this man who peed on her. So clearly there have to be better standards and I think stricter laws, Vipul. What do you think?
See, we have to look into the whole incident into a much broader perspective. There are a lot of grey areas which have come out during this last 3-4 days. The one biggest grey area which I found is the serving of liquor. See, the serving of liquor is allowed on the international flights, but what happens actually is that there are bars available after the security, and many passengers who consume liquor before boarding the aircraft and then again consume on the aircraft itself. How do we know that some passengers not even consuming liquor before starting also? So I think somewhere we have to have a checkpoint. If any passenger, boarding, see these air hostesses are taught to do some kind of passenger profiling also. They are supposed to be watchful about some behavioral pattern of certain passengers. So wherever they find this kind of people, I think some kind of alcohol test should be done. Or the way we do it for pilots, a sample alcohol test.
But Mr. Saxena, sir, what you're speaking of is an ideal situation. I just want to take a follow-up question. What about the Air India case? Here is the crew that was well aware of what was going on. They were aware of, the fact that this man was inebriated. In spite of that, he's allowed to behave the way he did. And on top of it, adding insult to injury, what they want to then also do is, create some kind of a compromise between the two sides. Then what do you do about such airlines? An apology, we say, is not good enough.
I'm coming to that only. Second thing, in this particular case, and this kind of cases, unless we take strict action against the passenger who has behaved unruly, even the cabin crew has been who has behaved irresponsibly and tried to broker the deal and not reporting, which is mandatory as per the CAR and also the circular of air safety, where within 12 hours they are supposed to report to DGCA. And lastly, the airline, which is operating and becoming party to hush up these matters. So I think one or two examples are to be set through strict action by DGCA against the airlines, against the captain of the aircraft, who is fully responsible, or rather only responsible person for the entire safety of the aircraft and also the passenger. His license validates him and it gives him all the rights. Absolutely. He can take any action. So the pilot license should be suspended, cabin crew should be suspended, and there is a flight safety in charge in every airline, which is approved by the DGCA. On the condition that he is the capable person who will be able to ensure the flight safety is maintained. His approach should be cancelled and strict action will be taken against the Air India.
And Mr. Saxena, I think unless and until Kapil and unless and until, and Mr. Kaul will also agree, unless and until you escalate the cost. You escalate the cost both for these unruly passengers and for the airlines who believe that everything is chalta hai. You can have a compromise. You can decide to look the other way. Why? Because you're worried about your name. Unless and until that happens, we will not see any kind of a change happening. Our colleagues Madhurama and Harsha, apologies to both of you. I have not been able to come to you here, but both of them, remember, have been on the ground getting us every such video, every advisory that you've seen on your screens. And Kapil, Mr. Saxena and Dr. Kaul, I thank you also, sir, for your time and your wisdom, as Republic will continue this campaign and we say no more louds on plane. Airlines like Air India should act in time, and Republic will continue to raise our voice. For the moment, thank you to all of you on the other side. We are back with more news.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
I am Sandeep Singh in Mumbai, and this is Republic.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग-अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग-अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
I'm Ankit Prasad in Mumbai, and this is Republic.
Viewers, top headlines right now. 2 drunk men arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. First pictures of arrest on Republic. Anger mounts as more voices join Republic campaign. India says no louds on the planes anymore. Major face-off in Karnataka over BJP's book of Siddaramaiah. Congress stages protest. Court puts a stay on book release. Punjab cop chasing the carjackers killed by the armed assailants. Not even police personnel are safe in Man's government. Same Congress that defended terrorist Tariq now don't silence as their own leader's son is arrested in Shivamoga bomb blast case. Tamil Nadu government versus governor face-off escalates in assembly as governor proposes state's name change and calls Dravidian politics regressive. Alright viewers, getting some big development coming in. The Delhi hit and run case, viewers, it's a big development. I repeat, all the accused were given judicial custody for 14 days. Big news coming in, viewers, big news coming in at this point of time where we are learning more details coming in, where the accused have been sent to judicial custody. And this is a top story that we're getting for you right now. The Delhi hit and run case, which had shocked the nation, viewers. And there were many accused in the case. What we're learning so far, viewers, is that The accused are sent to judicial custody, and viewers, let's tell you the top updates coming in. Remember that the victim in this case, she could not survive those injuries. She was dragged for a couple of kilometers, shocking the entire nation. There were a lot of calls for justice for her. We had also got you the CCTV footage. And now, viewers, you can see on your screen that the accused in the case, the multiple accused in the case, who time and again have been giving contradictory statements on what really transpired. Now, those accused are right now being sent to judicial custody. So, viewers, getting this top updates for you on Republic TV, where we can tell you, viewers, that this is the top update coming in. Remember, the investigation into the Delhi hit and run case continues, and Republic TV has been getting you every second and every minute of every update on the Delhi hit and run case. Many questions were also raised on why was there delay in police action. But for now, 14-day judicial custody for the accused in the case, viewers. And these are the top details we are getting for you right now. And we also showed you CCTV footage where it was clearly seen that the accused were aware that Anjali was under the car. And the police also questioned on why there was a delay in responding to the PCR calls. Now, there are multiple accused in the case, at least 6 people accused in the case. They have been produced in court. And viewers, we can also tell you that the top developments are coming in after they were produced in court on Monday as well. And the court had also granted bail to the 7th accused, Ankush Khanna, in the Delhi hit and run case. So, viewers, there are multiple accused in this case, and 5 people were arrested. 5 accused were arrested, namely Deepak Khanna, Amit Khanna, Krishan, Mithun, and Manoj Mittal. So these are the accused in the case, viewers. We can tell you that these accused now have been sent to 14-day judicial custody, viewers. 14-day judicial custody, viewers. And viewers, remember that 2 new suspects were also under the scanner on the suspicion that they also played a role in this horrific crime. All right, at the same time, viewers, we can tell you is that victim's friend Nidhi is also one of the key witnesses in this case. Let's go ahead to Piyush Shori is joining us live right now. Piyush, it's a big development, and all the accused have been given judicial custody for 14 whole days. Piyush, can you hear me? All right, we're getting some trouble getting to Piyush. We'll come back to him, viewers, right now. Let's move ahead to the other developments that we're getting at this point of time. In 3 months, there have been 6 cases of unruly passengers mid-air. First, it was a passenger on an Indigo flight calling the air hostess a servant. Then, back-to-back, 2 incidents of a man urinating on a co-passenger. And also an incident has come into the fore on Indigo flight where intoxicated passengers misbehaved mid-air. From unruly accountable. Let's have a look at a few of these incidents, viewers. Remember that there are many incidents coming to the fore right now, and we can tell you that a lot of incidents coming in at this point of time, viewers, on this story, where we are seeing that these kind of cases have been reported again and again. Republic TV is also running a campaign. We can call on our number and we can talk about the story that you have experiences that you have had mid-air. Were you treated with respect mid-air as a passenger? These are big questions that Republic TV is asking all the audiences who are watching us, all the audience, all our viewers who are watching. But viewers, the top story we have got for you right now is that one more incident has come to the fore, and this time on an Indigo flight. On an Indigo flight, there has been a case of misbehavior where passengers, they misbehave with an air hostess while being under the influence. So this is a big story we're tracking for you. 2 people have been arrested in this case as well. We'll get you more updates on the story. But let's go ahead to the reactions coming in as we keep getting you top updates. Remember that this incident came on a flight from Patna to Delhi. This was an Indigo flight. Let's go ahead and play out the reactions on the story.
कंप्लेन किया गया कि 2 पैसेंजर हैं जो नशे किए हुए हैं, तो उस सूचना पर यहाँ से जेएसआई जो हैं रणधीर कुमार और एक एएसआई लोग गश्ती दल के साथ गए वहाँ पर। तो इंडिगो के द्वारा 2 पैसेंजर को, एक नीतीश कुमार और एक रोहित कुमार, दोनों को हैंडओवर किया गया। उसको लाकर यहाँ पर ब्रेथ एनालाइजर से हम लोग उसको जांच किए, तो उसमें शराब पीने का पुष्टि हुई। तो दोनों को बिहार एक्साइज अमेंडमेंट एक्ट, प्रोहिबिशन एंड एक्साइज अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 2023 के अंतर्गत सेक्शन 37 के अंतर्गत उसमें एफआईआर किया गया। दोनों का आज मेडिकल कराया गया, कोरोना जांच कराया गया, उसका फिर अब एक्साइज कोर्ट में भेज दिया गया।
ये तो पूरा मामला क्या हुआ था वहाँ पर?
यही था कि वो लोग दोनों पिए हुए थे और
हंगामा भी किया। और
हंगामा का कोई वैसी आपको जो कंप्लेन किया गया है, बस उसका मैनेजर भी आया हुआ था, सब पत्रकारों के सामने बोला कि ऐसा कोई हंगामा की बात नहीं है।
कंप्लेंट क्या है कि वो लोग
नशा किया, दारू पिया।
चलती फ्लाइट में, उड़ते हुए फ्लाइट में शराब पी रहे?
नहीं, शराब पी कर ही चले थे वो लोग। शराब पीने का नहीं, शराब ना कोई रिकवर भी नहीं है, कोई ना बोतल ऐसे कुछ रिकवर सीजर लिस्ट कुछ नहीं दिया गया उन लोग द्वारा। वो केवल का दारू पिया हुआ था, नशा में है लोग। तो उन लोगों को जैसे निकल रहा था तो उसको रोक लिया गया इंडिगो के द्वारा।
प्लेन में कोई हंगामा नहीं हुआ?
प्लेन का हंगामा कुछ नहीं हुआ,
मतलब
ना मारपीट से कोई छेड़छाड़ का बात जो दिखाया
एयर होस्टेस से
कुछ नहीं हुआ। उसका आपका एफआईआर देखिएगा, एफआईआर में कुछ नहीं है, उसमें लिखा हुआ है। एफआईआर भेजा कोर्ट गया हुआ है, उसमें सिंपल है कि वो लोग दारू नशा किया है लोग।
किसके द्वारा किया?
वो असिस्टेंट सिक्योरिटी मैनेजर नीरज कुमार इंडिगो का।
उन्होंने क्या लिखा है एफआईआर में?
लिखा कि वो लोग अनरूली बिहेवियर है, नशा किए हैं, दारू पिए हुए हैं, तो उसी पर एफआईआर हुआ।
अनरूली बिहेवियर तो
मतलब दारू पिया हुआ है तो उसको अनरूली ले गया। वो लोग सच्चाई ये बता रहा कि कुछ बता रहे थे कि वो लोग जो सामान रख रहे थे तो स्मेल आया, तो ऊपर बैगेज रखा था तो स्मेल आया, तो वो लोग को सूचना दे दिएगा। तो ये लोग को कुछ नहीं हुआ, सोया हुआ था लोग।
किसने सूचना दिया? केबिन क्रू ने?
हाँ, केबिन क्रू दे दिया। तो उसके बाद इन लोगों को जब बाहर निकल रहा था तब इन लोगों को रोक लिया गया। इन लोगों को
किसी पैसेंजर के साथ इन दोनों ने
कोई पैसेंजर के साथ शिकायत भी नहीं, पैसेंजर के द्वारा शिकायत भी नहीं किया गया है, और ना वो उनके आवेदन में जो सिक्योरिटी इंडिगो के मैनेजर हैं उनके आवेदन में वैसी कोई बात नहीं कही गई,
कोई छेड़खानी
कुछ नहीं किया।
All right, viewers, our lines are open right now. You can call us and talk about your experience. Let's go to Professor Dave from Ahmedabad. Thank you for joining us. Please share your experience. You have a story to tell us. Everybody is watching. The entire India is watching. Go ahead and tell your story.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Professor Dave from Ahmedabad. I'm a frequent flyer. I travel on international circuits practically regularly and frequently. And I have a couple of observations to make, Number one, I have seen the passengers, what Nitin had mentioned earlier. I have seen the passengers at Heathrow, and they are waiting for the flight, and they are sitting in a bar, and they are having a couple of drinks or 3 drinks or 4 drinks, and then they board the flight. And again, they come back, on the flight, and they have been served. I'm wondering, why our cabin crew is not properly trained, not to serve them any drinks. They must realize, from the behavior itself, that they are drunk and they should not be given. It becomes like on a flight, whichever the airlines gives them more drinks, and it's like a problem. That's wrong, number one. And number two, I have also noticed but the cabin crew have to be a little more sensitive, to children and especially the senior people, And then all these things is because the crew is not properly trained here. And this is especially so in case of Air India because since last 22 years, I'm traveling most of the time by Air India. I'm not complaining against the Air India especially, but my experiences are more with Air India. And I have seen, most of the time, the crew, they keep on giving or serving the liquor. And they are also not properly trained, to be sensitive to the children and the old age people,
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Professor Dave, for sharing your story on Republic TV. I'm also being joined by my colleague and senior editor, Deepthi. Deepthi, a lot of people are calling Republic TV, sharing the experiences as well. And this really means it's time that strong action should be taken against those passengers who are making the flying experience terrible and extremely terrible and unsafe for their fellow passengers mid-air, Deepthi.
That is true, and that's the reason why we are putting out the campaign. Let's continuously tell our viewers. You're seeing our numbers flashing on the bottom of your screens. I'm told Mr. Subramaniam has been very patiently holding the phone line, Shivangi, so let's quickly get into him because at the end of the day, it's, a lot of our viewers who've been calling us, they say that we should go really big with the story, and this is the why we are putting our spotlight, Mr. Subramaniam, back on the story because we haven't forgotten what happened vis-a-vis the Air India episode, and over the past just 3 months, we've seen at least 3 such particular cases of unruly behavior that has been caught on camera. What about you, sir? What you have a story to tell us? What would you want to say on what you've seen so far?
Sir, we are all with you. I am thankful to Republic for doing the best job possible.
And sir, do you have an experience to share with us? Have you ever been an eyewitness to such a case?
Sir, so far I did not have any problem with international travels or Indian. But supply of too much drinks has been the main problem. We guys do not appreciate it. But it is for the... I have traveled several times by Air India. I have no complaint. But the thing is, what else I heard and read about it, actually, it was very, 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 very sad. So, I am very, very happy that Republic, my TV, is doing what it is expected to do. So, by grace of Lord, I am very sure you will take us to the logical end. We are always with you and always will be with you.
Vivut sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling us. Thank you for being one of our, regular loyal viewers. And, because you watched Republic, you've tracked Republic, you would know that we've seen a lot of cases when it comes to VVIP racism also, Shivangi. And every such incident, remember, you will see, you open your phone lines and you will realize that people really, really get angry. People say enough is enough. We do not tolerate that kind of a behavior. And likewise, today when we've opened our phone lines, there are continuous calls coming into our newsrooms. Our WhatsApp groups are flooded with messages. People have their own stories to tell. And they say, Shivangi, something like this is unimaginable. This is particularly vis-a-vis what happened on the Air India incident. What we are seeing on our screens are also images that have come in from Patna earlier. We've seen what Prakash had to say when he spoke to the cop in question. And he said that there are now charges being leveled on those 2 drunk passengers. But that is not about it. Like I said, if you just Google, in the last many, many months, you have seen n number of these incidents that have been reported. And like I said, have you seen good enough action? I would say no, and I think we have continuous callers coming in, and I'm just going to be requesting our producers to also share names so that we can go to all those callers one by one. You see those numbers flashing on your screens. The hashtag is Louds on Planes. So if you also have an opinion, you also have a feedback, you have a story to tell, Please use that hashtag and tell us what you think. Partha Sarthi is also with us. Partha, good evening. From where are you calling and what would you want to say?
I'm calling from Hyderabad, madam.
Yes, sir.
You see, this kind of things have
What would you want to say,
happening.
sir?
Yeah, these kind of things are happening, but the airlines should take care of this kind of unruly passengers, passengers who misbehave with ladies or even other gentlemen also. Actually, I personally feel that at least the woman should have protested or she should have screamed. She has not done anything, as if they know each other. But then later something happened and somebody has seen and then he has come to her rescue. That is a different story. I'm not talking about that. But at least she should have protested. She should have acted, screamed or did something. And otherwise the air hostesses must have seen her or must have seen that fellow urinating on her. And then immediately something could have been done. But unfortunately, it was too late. After a lot of lapse of time, things have happened. The pilot has come and did something. That is different. But anyway, any airlines should not take advantage of this kind of things. And in future, they should take care of the safety and security of the air passengers, especially the long distance passengers coming from US and UK and other places. They expect some comfort and happiness in the flight, and that's why they serve a couple of drinks or wine or whatever it is during the flight. But they should not take this as an opportunity and try to save that drink also. You see, that is a complimentary drink which they usually give. The government and other things should not pass an act, and then the airlines also should not ban that kind of facilities which are already available in the flight. They should take advantage of this. They should not take undue advantage of this kind of thing. So there should be at least one bumper sort of a fellow who can act immediately as and when this kind of emergency takes place in the plane. And definitely the airlines should be punished heavily.
Yes, that's the point. Make them accountable. The reason why we are putting out this campaign, Mr. Partha Sarthi, thank you so much, sir, for calling us and speaking your mind. And Shivangi, what we'll do is we'll quickly head into a break right now. But on the other side, a quick reminder, on the bottom of your screens, our numbers are flashing, our phone lines are open. If you have a horror story to tell, if you have experienced any kind of harassment, if you've been a witness to a case like what you have seen of unruly behavior on the flight, what about the crew? Did you see them act or not? And what you think should be done vis-a-vis airlines? Should they also be penalized for an alleged cover-up like Air India attempted to do, until and unless Republic picked up the entire story? On the other side, we are taking your calls live. Be back with us.
We questioned Christian Michel.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you give facts to India? Christian, would you tell the truth? Christian, would you tell the truth?
Mr. Bhandari. Mr. Bhandari. Mr. Bhandari.
I'll be very straight with you. If he's able to do that, I'll give you a scoop which will create ripples there.
We tracked down Sanjay Bhandari. We don't preach journalism. We practice it.
I'm Piyush Mishra in New Delhi and this is Republic.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I'm reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition.
I'm Amandeep Dikshit reporting from Chandigarh, and this is Republic.
Viewers, top national updates. BJP versus Congress face-off escalates in Karnataka as BJP was scheduled to release a book titled Siddaramaiah's True Dreams today. However, court has put to stay on the book release. BJP claimed that they will highlight the Congress's soft stance towards PFI in this book, and was also to highlight Congress leader Siddaramaiah's stance on Tipu Sultan. Heavy police deployment outside town hall as Congress workers protested against the release of Siddaramaiah's book. Many Congress workers were detained as they demanded that BJP should not be allowed to release the book. A theft was reported from the house of Anjali Singh, the woman who died a horrific death in the Delhi hit-and-run case. Family members of Anjali's claim that thieves broke open the lock of their house and stole several items. They also alleged that Anjali's friend Nidhi was behind the theft. Viewers, much more coming up on the other side. Major face-off in Karnataka over BJP's book on Siddaramaiah. Congress stages protest. Court put stay on the book release. Plus, Punjab cop chasing the jackers there who was killed now by armed assailants. Now, not even the police personnel are safe in Man's government. Stay tuned.
I'm Zeenat Zishan Fazil reporting from Srinagar, and this is the Republic.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when 2 suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army, and these 2 are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are 2 automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these 2 terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी।
हमने सभी लोगों से अनुरोध किया है कि ये समय सबको मिलजुल कर जोशीमठ को बचाने का समय है। सब लोग एक टीम के रूप में काम करें, सभी लोग मिलकर, सरकार है, सामाजिक संगठन है, राजनीतिक संगठन है, हमारी सबकी पहली प्राथमिकता है कि जोशीमठ शहर बचना चाहिए और लोगों की जान माल की सुरक्षा होनी चाहिए। जहां सभी लोगों से मैंने मिलकर भी वैसे भी अनुरोध किया है और लोग लगे भी हैं, सब लोग अब इस काम पर लग गए हैं। और जो खतरे की जद में आने वाले 68 मकान थे उन सभी को शिफ्ट किया गया है और जो एक जोन बना है 600 मकानों से अधिक का, उनको भी वहां से सुरक्षित स्थानों पर ले जाने की कार्रवाई गतिमान है। और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी भी लगातार इसकी समीक्षा कर रहे हैं, लगातार व्यक्तिगत रूप से वो जानकारी ले रहे हैं और उन्होंने हर संभव यहाँ पर मदद का, हमको सहायता का आश्वासन दिया कि हर प्रकार से सहायता होगी। कल पीएमओ ने भी मीटिंग करी है, हमारे राज्य के भी सभी अधिकारीगण, चीफ सेक्रेटरी कल वहां गए थे, सारा आकलन उन्होंने भी कर दिया है और हमारी कोशिश है कि सभी लोगों को फिलहाल सुरक्षित किया जाए।
I am Aneri Shah reporting from Hyderabad and this is Republic.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं। देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग अलग एफआईआर इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Two drunk men arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. First pictures of arrest on Republic. Anger mounts as more voices join the Republic campaign. India says no louts on planes anymore. Major face-off in Karnataka over BJP's book on Siddaramaiah. Congress stages protest. Court puts stay on book release. Punjab cop chasing the carjackers killed by the armed assailants. Not even police personnel are safe in Man's government. Same Congress that defended terrorist Sharik now dons silence as their own leader's son is arrested in Shivamoga bomb blast case. Tamil Nadu government versus governor face-off escalates in assembly as governor proposes state's name change and calls Dravidian politics regressive. Thank you for staying with Republic. This is the news at 5 p.m. I'm Suesha Sound and we cut across to more breaking news coming in as Punjab police constable was shot dead during a cross-firing with carjackers in Jalandhar. 3 assailants were injured and one managed to flee the spot. 4 armed men snatched a car at gunpoint in Jalandhar. Cops chased the armed men and cross-firing began, soon resulting in the death of that cop. Let's listen in to what had happened, several eyewitness accounts on it.
ਗੱਡੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਅਰਬਨ ਸਟੇਟ ਕੋਲ ਖੋਈ ਜੀ। ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਗਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਤੇ ਖੋਲੀ ਗੱਡੀ। ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ। ਗੱਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਟਰੈਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਟਰੈਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫਾਇਰਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੀ। ਮੁੰਡੇ ਤੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਪਹੁੰਚਦੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਡੈਥ ਹੋ ਗਈ।
ਇਹ ਛੋਟੇ ਬਾਈ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੋਕ ਸੀ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੋਰੇ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਚਲਾਈਆਂ ਪਤਾ ਕੁਛ?
4 ਕੇ ਜਣੇ ਸੀ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਜਣੇ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਗੱਡੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਖੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ?
ਮੈਂ ਆਪਾਂ 2 ਜਣੇ ਸੀ।
ਤੁਸੀਂ 2 ਉਹ 4 ਜਣੇ ਸੀ? ਚਾਰਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਗਨ ਸੀ?
ਦਿਖਾਈ 2 ਜਣੇ ਨੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ। ਕਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ?
ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਰੇਟਾ ਸੀ।
ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ?
ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਰਮਸਟ ਘਰ ਸੀ, ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ, ਗੋਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੱਲੀ ਹੈ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਚੱਲੀ ਸੀ? ਫਲੋਰ ਕਿੱਥੇ?
ਪਿੰਡ ਸੀ ਜੀ ਕੋਈ। ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੱਚਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਰਾਹ 'ਚ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿੱਛਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਜੀ।
ਤੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਸੀ, ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ।
ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਮੁਲਾਜ਼ਮ ਦੀ ਗੋਲੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਟੋਟਲ ਮੁਲਾਜ਼ਮ ਸੀ?
4 ਜਣੇ ਸੀ ਜੀ।
ਇਹ 4 ਜਣੇ ਸੀ। ਐਸਐਚਓ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਾਲ ਸੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੌਣ ਸੀ। ਵਰਦੀ ਪਾਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੌਣ।
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਫਿਰ?
ਗੱਡੀ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ ਜੀ। ਬੰਦੇ ਫੜ ਲਏ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਫਾਇਰਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਤੀ ਸੀ।
ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੌਕੇ ਤੇ ਫੜੇ ਗਏ ਕਿ ਭੱਜ ਗਏ ਸੀ? ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਾ?
ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਫੜ ਲਿਆ।
Amandeep now joining us live on the broadcast. Amandeep, firstly, details of what had happened and what the Punjab police is saying now, because there are serious questions over the law and order situation in the state.
Well, absolutely, Swesha. The law and order is highly compromised in Punjab, and in fact, that should be the concern of the Punjab government as well as Punjab police. And in fact, just yesterday's night incident has shaken the entire law and order situation again in Punjab, when carjackers have snatched the car on a gunpoint, and later they have been intercepted by a team of police. And in fact, a crossfiring happened in which a cop was shot dead, and even 3 of the assailants were also injured, and they have been apprehended by the police, and one managed to flee from the spot along with the weapons. And meanwhile, police is claiming that they have recovered 2 pistols. One is .30 bore and one .32 bore, along with the live cartridges. And in fact, all the 3 injured assailants were inside the civil hospital from where I am reporting now. I can show you the visuals also, that heavy police deployed here inside the civil hospital, just because all 3 injured accused were inside and under the treatment, and one of them is in a very critical condition just because he has received a bullet in his abdomen, and 2 of them are injured, having the fractures on their legs as well as on their arms. And in fact, now the police is further investigating the case regarding the 4th accused who is still absconding in this case, and in fact how many weapons he was carrying, just because the continuous firing raising so many questions. It was just a carjacking incident, or there is some kind of deep-rooted conspiracy behind this, just because all of four have jacked the car on a gunpoint, and later when the police chased them and police intercepted the car, they started opening firing on the police party as well. And even after that, one of them managed to flee from the spot, and 3 were apprehended after receiving the bullet injuries. And in fact, a heavy police van is also deployed here, just because now the police is not taking a single chance for providing the security. That's because the situation in Punjab is very much uncertain, Swesha. The law and order situation in Punjab is very much uncertain after RPG attacks, after certain kind of rifles recovered, certain firing incidents. Now the cops are also on the targets of these kinds of gangsters. Now the police is verifying the details of these, just because they are the habitual offenders involved into several murders, dacoities, carjacking incidents, and even attempt to murders also. Now the police is verifying the background of all these accused, that either they are connected to some kind of gang, and from where they are getting the weapons, and what are they up to, what are their plans after snatching a car, where they are heading towards, what kind of planning they are going to execute on the ground of Punjab. Either they are linked to any kind of terror activities, or they are just a carjacker. So these are the part of investigation, but so far the police is now verifying all the details and searching the absconded 4th accused who is still on the run. And meanwhile, the constable who was shot dead, Kuldeep Singh, his postmortem has been conducted, and in fact his body has been handed over to the family. He is a native of Gurdaspur in Punjab, and the family has took the mortal remains of Constable Kuldeep Singh to his native place to perform the last rites. Meanwhile, Punjab government has also announced 1 crore of ex gratia, and in fact also claimed that according to the life insurance, 1 more crore will be given by the HDFC Bank. So this has all happened, but now the major question is that how this entire law and order situation has been compromised. If the carjackers are snatching a car on a gunpoint, and when police party is chasing them and they are opening the fires with no hesitation, this is the impression of the police, and this is the impression of the government on these hardcore criminals. And another question is that availability of weapons is so easy in Punjab that every second person or every petty criminal is having the weapons along with them, and how the police can chase them, how the police can apprehend them. Every time Punjab police cannot afford to lose their cops regarding these short operations. Yes.
And that really is the bigger problem, Amandeep, which is why so many questions coming in as to repeat incidents and how cops lose their lives, because this is the pattern of crimes, of the kind of culture, be it the gun culture, be it pro-Khalistani elements being given a free run, and what is the Maan government doing about it? Why isn't there a stronger crackdown such that the cops don't end up losing their lives in this collateral damage? For the moment, thank you, Amandeep, for getting us details.
BJP protest that was marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. You can see how the barricades have been broken over here. The BJP workers have broken the barricades, and now they are marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. And this protest is getting aggressive. And you can see my VJ Surinder Rawat bringing in this protest is coming after there was a lot of ruckus in the house when councillors of both the parties clashed in the house because of the oath-taking order, where the BJP workers claimed that the nominated workers should have gotten the permission to take the oath, whereas the Aam Aadmi Party workers wanted wanted to take oath first, and then the entire controversy unraveled into a massive uproar in the house. You can see that these are the voices of the Bharatiya Janata Party workers, and they are alleging that all that happened inside that particular house was condemnable, that they did not that the Aam Aadmi Party workers did not comply by the rules and resorted to unruly behavior that ended into a massive ruckus inside the party. And you can also see that these big placards all on a main road marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. That really deciphers the kind of ire these BJP workers are holding, because the showdown was quite indeed shameful, because in a house where work and progress is supposed to happen, the events that unraveled on that hapless day are to be accounted for.
Moving on, in news coming in from Karnataka, where NIA conducted searches at 6 locations across Karnataka in districts of Dakshin Kannada, Shivamogga, Devanagiri and Bengaluru, arresting 2 ISIS operators. Now, the raids are connected with explosives seized in Shivamogga. The case relates to conspiracy hatched by the accused to further the terror activities of the Islamic State, a banned terrorist organization, and to endanger the unity, security and sovereignty of the country. Among those arrested is Congress leader Tajuddin Sheikh's son, Rishan, to which DK Shivkumar has also reacted. Let's listen in.
Congress leader's son was arrested by NIA in Mangalore case, sir. Congress leader's son was arrested by NIA in Mangalore case, sir.
Prajwal, clearly DK Shivkumar did not want to give any answers, and for obvious reasons, because this has come as a massive embarrassment to the Congress party. First, they were defending terrorist Sharik, and now their own man's son who has ISIS links. What does the Congress say now?
So far now, the Congress has maintained a stoic silence over the entire issue. We only had the leader of the opposition in council, B.K. Hariprasad, going on and speaking and stating that the NIA is not from heaven, meaning to say that the Congress have not taken the NIA investigation seriously. This is one of the major problems. Secondly, now all the top leaders of the Congress, may it be the KPCC president or the working president for that matter, or even the leader of the opposition in Assembly, Siddaramaiah, all of them have remained silent, because this particular arrest of these 2 IS operators took place on the 5th of January on Thursday. And now it is being understood that Rishan is the son of Tajuddin Sheikh, who is the block president of the Congress in Brahmavara, in Dakshina Kannada as well. So now the NIA also went on to establish links, stating that this was just not an one offbeat incident. These were a series of incidents which were connected, where it is now being learned that Rishan is also one of the prime accused in the Shivamogga trial blast case, where he went on to fund the blast which happened in Shivamogga through crypto wallet. So basically all the money was being travelled from abroad, from his IS handler to that of the crypto wallet of Rishan, who has then gone on to carry all these activities. These activities have also happened at a time when Maaz Munir Ahmad as well as Rishan were studying together at the PA college in Udupi. Both of them were said to be classmates. And when they were questioned, when the parents of Rishan have been questioned here, mainly his father, he's also gone incommunicado. Republic tried to speak to him on the phone lines as well. His phone lines are either not reachable or some of his numbers are switched off. So even the Congress leaders do not know about the whereabouts of Tajuddin Sheikh, which is quite shameful. At the same point of time, it is very surprising. When asked Mr. B.K. Hariprasad, he said that the High Command will speak.
When asked Mr. B.K. Hariprasad, he said that the High Command will speak to him. He was very casual in the way that he spoke. He told that the High Command will speak to him, but also this should not be an atrocity towards one religion, but the NIA should also go on and investigate other cases. And when we asked about which other cases, he spoke about, Pragya Thakur and Colonel Purohit as well. So this is how the Congress has been deviating this entire issue, but this has definitely become a huge black mark on the state Congress in Karnataka.
Oh yes, and that's a standard answer when they want to defend themselves to these questions. For the moment, Prajwal, thank you for joining us.
That the people of Joshimath are still in fear and the situation remains tense. Let me give you the sense once from where I'm reporting, and we can see the condition what is happening over here. We do understand, as we are reporting from last 4 days and seeing what exactly the condition at this point in time is, and we can see how the building is shifting from its place now. We have seen several cracks on the roads. We have seen several cracks on the walls, on other buildings in the hotels. So this exactly is the condition where this has been stated very much clearly by the administration that there is no option for the people now, but they will have to leave. They will have to leave their houses. That is something what we are seeing. Let me also give you the sense from this particular house where we can see the numbers of cracks. You can clearly see these people are shifting their house now. They are not left with any other option but to leave their house. This is the red mark which has been put in now over here, and this is to indicate that yes, this is one of the affected property. Let me go down and ask my video journalist to give you the sense clearly that what is being happening here. And if we talk about the cracks, then I can see all over. I can see the cracks. What is happening? We'll try and talk to someone to understand if we can get a sense.
इधर से पूरे दिखाओ क्या करना क्या बोलो सही जोशीमठ में ऐसे ही हो रहेगा क्या कहाँ जाऊँ खाली कमरे में रख रहे हम सामान ये पूरे जाने वाले हैं नीचे
अभी आप लोग को क्या बोला गया माता जी कि यहाँ से अब खाली करके
खाली कर दो ये 10 बजे को खाली कर दो हम यहाँ सील करेंगे सरकार ने 10 बजे को
आज 10 बजे
आज 10 बजे के तुम जितने सामान साफ सकते हो ले जाओ नहीं ले जाना तो यहीं रख लो यहाँ तुम्हारा सामान कुछ नहीं हुआ तुम्हारे लिए व्यवस्था हो जाएगा तभी तो है नहीं कमरे कहीं है नहीं हमारे व्यवस्था के लिए अब देखेंगे शाम तक क्या बोलेंगे
कौन कौन है आपके परिवार में जो अब
हाँ बहू है बुढ़े है बच्चे है लड़का है
And well, a massive controversy broke out in Tamil Nadu over State Governor R.N. Ravi's Tamizagam remark as Ravi Kumar began his speech in the State Assembly. MLAs belonging to allies of the ruling DMK started raising slogans against the governor. There was major chaos that was reported in the Assembly. Getting you all the details in this report.
The tussle between the Tamil Nadu government and Governor R.N. Ravi escalated even further today. Tamil Nadu Governor's name change proposal is at the roots of this face-off. Tamil Nadu Governor has said that Tamilagam is more appropriate name for the state. The alliance parties with DMK, including Congress, CPI, CPM, etc., staged a walkout during the address of Governor R.N. Ravi in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. The allies not only disrupted the state governor's speech, but also protested outside the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly and shouted slogans against him.
Major drama and major commotion took place in the Tamil Nadu State Legislative Assembly today as the alliance parties of the DMK government staged a walkout and they condemned the speech of the Governor R.N. Ravi while he was about starting to speak in the assembly session today, and the assembly session was also about to start with his speech only. And the alliance parties, which included VCK, Congress, CPI, CPM, TVM, MMK, all these parties walked out, and they had also spoken about how the governor is doing a parallel government.
The assembly had convened in the backdrop of the pending bills and tensions between the governor and the ruling party over ideological and policy matters, including the ban on online gambling. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Time for a short break. On the other side, anger mounts as more voices join the Republic campaign. India says no louds on planes anymore. Also, it's a major face-off in Karnataka over BJP's book on Siddaramaiah. Congress staging protests. Court has put a stay on the book release.
I'm Ankit Prasad in Mumbai, and this is Republic.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे। और 3 अलग अलग FIR इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
This is Gurugram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath. There you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद।
It is only the Republic Media Network's non-stop campaign, Arrest Shankar Mishra, is a national demand.
Sir, were you negligent? Sir, you didn't perform your duty. Sir, you did. Sir, what exactly? Sir, you guys didn't fulfill your duty. Why you not in your senses? Why you not in your senses? Shankar, are you ashamed? Shankar, are you ashamed of yourself? Shankar, are you?
Aam Aadmi Party workers and leaders are planning to take out a protest march from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters till the LG house, and they have now been stopped by the Delhi police. Let me straight away try to show you the pictures of this protest which is now underway. And this protest is taking place against the kind of behavior which was done allegedly by BJP. This is what the Aam Aadmi Party is claiming, and that is why Aam Aadmi Party workers are now taking out this protest march. You can see as to how they are sitting there on the roads after they are being stopped. They are holding this placard which reads "Bhajpa walo sharm karo, संविधान की हत्या करना बंद करो." So protest versus protest is taking place after the kind of visuals, unprecedented visuals we saw coming in from Delhi Civic Center, where full-blown war took place, violence took place, brawls were exchanged.
BJP having lesser number of members is trying to make its mayor by foul means.
But the question here is that BJP is saying that their councillors have been attacked by Aam Aadmi Party councillors. We also saw the pictures coming in where one of your councillors was seen holding a chair in his hand and he was trying to throw it on a BJP councillor. How are we going to justify this?
No, it's completely false statement by Bhajpa.
हमारा मांगना यह है कि जो संविधान में लिखा है उसको ठीक ढंग से लागू किया जाए।
लिखा है क्या कहना
जो
जो भी है जैसा कि नॉमिनेट पार्षद है उनको बाद में वो दी जाती है और वो
मतलब थोड़ी देर कानून हाथ में ले लेंगे, लड़ाई झगड़ा थोड़ी करेंगे।
मचा रखे सबसे पहले नॉमिनेट पार्षदों को ही उन्होंने और दिलाने की कोशिश की जो कि गलत है।
Workers let me straight away try to show you the pictures of barricading those that have been put up here. These workers have now been stopped here by Delhi police personnel have been deployed. CRPF personnel have been deployed here. Multiple layers of barricading has been done to stop these workers. In fact, water cannon have also been called in, looking into the massive protest which has been announced by Aam Aadmi Party.
Time for a short break. On the other side, getting you details as Punjab cop lost his life while chasing carjackers by armed assailants, and questions now over man government and how police personnel are also not safe.
I am Aneri Shah reporting from Hyderabad, and this is Republic.
This is Ravi Gram of Joshimath from where I am reporting at this point in time, and as we have been reporting from the different location and seeing the condition that what exactly is happening in the Joshimath, there you can see the ball which has been dislocated completely. So you can understand by seeing these visuals that what would have been the condition and what is happening over here. This is something what is becoming a more worrisome situation for the people of Joshimath.
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army when two suspects were seen moving towards the LOC on the Indian side. When they didn't stop, they were neutralized by the Indian Army. And these two are the weapons that have been recovered, along with other arms and ammunition. Several grenades too have been recovered. These are two automatic rifles that have been recovered, and these are the twin IEDs that these two terrorists were carrying.
देखिए तस्वीरें पुलिस हेडक्वार्टर की हैं और अखिलेश यादव इस वक्त अंदर में मौजूद हैं। सुबह ही मनीष जगन अग्रवाल की गिरफ्तारी हुई थी, जो कि समाजवादी पार्टी का जो मीडिया सेल है उसको वो हैंडल करते थे, उसको चलाते थे, और 3 अलग अलग FIR इस पूरे केस में अलग अलग समय पर दर्ज हुई थी कि जो नेता अंदर नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, जिनको अंदर नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा, वो यहाँ पर धरने पर बैठ गए हैं।
Huge cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered by the security forces. This was an operation that was launched by the Indian Army. See, this is the recovery that has been made from the other operation that Indian Army carried out. This is the fatigue of the Indian Army, the combat dresses they were carrying, the gloves and other these batteries, the daggers, each and everything these terrorists were carrying. This is in the second operation that has been carried out by the Indian Army, and possibly it was an attempt to carry out a bat attack, as they were carrying a camera with them also.
The biggest news.
10 मार्च के बाद बुलडोजर चलेगी कि नहीं चलेगी? 10 मार्च के बाद फिर विकास और पेशेवर माफिया और अपराधियों के ऊपर फिर से बुलडोजर अपना काम भी करना प्रारंभ कर देगा।
The biggest news makers.
The government is not going out of its way to correct any political messaging.
After a point, it is like you can convince a person who wants to listen and think. But if I've already made up my mind, no argument can convince them.
The biggest events.
We are reporting right from the BJP protest that was marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. You can see how the barricades have been broken over here. The BJP workers have broken the barricades, and now they are marching towards the Chief Minister's residence. And this protest is getting aggressive. This protest is coming after both the parties clashed in the house.
Hello and a very good evening. You're with us here on Republic, and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. The Delhi hit and run case, viewers, is moving very, very fast. And the key eyewitness in the case is the girl called Nidhi. But what is it that our team has discovered about Nidhi that is raising many questions? We are breaking that story and much more for you. Let's get kick-started. The headlines first up.
Two drunk men are arrested for creating ruckus on an Indigo flight. These are first pictures of the arrest that you see on Republic. Anger mounts as more voices join the Big Republic campaign. India says no louds on planes anymore. That's a major face-off in Karnataka over BJP's book on Siddaramaiah. The Congress stages a protest. The court now has put a stay on the release of the book. Punjab cop chasing the carjackers is killed by armed assailants. Not even the police personnel are safe in the state of Punjab. Same Congress that defended terrorist Sharik now down silence as their own leader's son is arrested in the Shivamoga bomb blast case. And the Tamil Nadu government versus the governor face-off escalates in the assembly as the governor now proposes state's name be changed and he calls Dravidian politics, quote-unquote, regressive. And breaking news is just coming in. In fact, these are more reports of the unruly behavior that you see in our skies. This is a report coming in from the DGCA, which says 2 incidents of passengers misbehaving on board the Paris-New Delhi flight that occurred on December the 6th were brought to their notice. In the first incident, a passenger was caught smoking in the lavatory.